That key. Good work.
No, I know it. I'm just double checking. Think it might be okay because I got an ad. Yeah, we're live.
Alright. Yay. This is a unique Twitch/YouTube social experiment. What happens when two very smart wrestling lovers and a wrestling noob end up playing Killer Instinct while another person maintains his Twitch channel? What you get is what you're seeing here right now.
Oh,
This,
I'm not playing exactly, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm trying to focus on what I want to say.
Got to be Thunder. By the way, Thunder's like the only, well, Thunder and Saberwolf are my characters.
until next Tuesday when he becomes an Arbiter main.
Of course, I'd literally be
appropriate
breaking the law if I didn't do
main character ever. This is the Equestrian Rumble, guys. For those that are on YouTube.
We're sponsored by Milky Way.
Remember,
I'm just kidding. We're not sponsored by Milky Way.
Ah, didn't finish it right. It's been a very long time since I played, so like 2 months probably.
Yes, I played, I believe, earlier this morning, so trust me, I have played as many hours as I have spent money on this crazy thing.
It's so
But-
laggy, but anyway, let's just carry on with what we were going to talk about.
But this is the Equestrian Rumble, and for those that this is the first time you're here, this is our weekly wrestling podcast that we do, but we're trying something totally brand new this week. We're also streaming live on the Code Equestria Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Code Equestria. This week, well, guys, how's this for raising the stakes? Tonight on Monday Night Raw, Vince McMahon said if The Undertaker loses to Shane McMahon at WrestleMania, this will be his last. In other words, putting his career on the line now. So it's company versus career at Mania. If there needed to be any more pressure to this already crazy matchup, as Arbiter gets the first win, or wait,
Oh, shit.
maybe not. Because of that. Oh, now he got the first one. So, now that you know of the upward stakes, Arbiter, I'm going to start with you first.
Of course.
Career versus company.
Oh, it's so hard to pick.
How do you feel about this? And this is not a prediction. I'm just trying to get a general feel. Predictions are next week.
Well, we have yet to see what a Shane McMahon run WWE would actually be like. So it's hard to say how I feel about something that we haven't really seen.
I mean...
With that being said, the steaks are a bit extreme. And I'm not talking about the kind of steaks you cook on a grill, because they're usually pretty good, but no. These steaks are very extreme. Yet
Especially with
McMahon,
barbecue sauce.
But with Vince McMahon at the helm, it shouldn't be all too surprising either.
I mean, he reiterated that The Undertaker is indeed his bitch. I'm sorry, The Undertaker is nobody's bitch.
Undertaker, the dead man answers to no one. You are a fool for believing that, Vince. And it will come back to haunt you, I guarantee.
I fat-fingered the stick and the A button at the same time there.
And we saw the Shane McMahon training montage built up by Hall of Famer speaking about Shane's tenacity and his dedication to get ready for this match. To be honest, this is the match at the center of the card, and it's truly acting like one, which is really the pain in the neck for me, because this match should not be the center of WrestleMania. Like, this should not be the match, but it's clearly the match. I mean, yes, we haven't seen a true Shane McMahon run WWE, but at the same time, we haven't seen a Undertaker-less WWE since 1991.
That's also very true.
I mean, let's get David's thoughts in here. So, with the latest revelation, David, where's your mind at? I mean,
it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad, because it's easy to think of where they're leaning with this angle. That they obviously want Shane to win to take over Monday Night Raw. So, thinking about it, about where they're leaning, it's sad because The Undertaker, for the last 22 years, has been a staple of WrestleMania. He pretty much was every embodied WrestleMania, aside from Hulk Hogan. And to just have a WrestleMania without him, for a fan that's been there, like for me, like I just got in there for a year and he's already my favorite superstar ever.
Uh-oh.
But to come out, to basically come out the back end of his career and get into wrestling, it's kind of sad to see him go, even from a new fan's perspective. Because he's a legend of wrestling in any kind of wrestling company. Hell, even outside of companies, like the UFC. The UFC wanted him.
This I think is not going to make wrestling fans happy, no matter what the result is. Because either way, you kind of get a sucky
It's bittersweet.
result.
No matter which way it comes out, it's not going to make people happy. If Shane wins, it's a bittersweet victory because The Undertaker's career is over. If Taker wins, then
Hey, it's business as usual, though, and we get a usual Taker win in that case, too, so that's why that kind of is there.
I'm sorry, that just looked really funny, because you were trying to punch and I was trying to kick. It was like I was high-fiving you with my foot or some shit.
And keep in mind, guys, I have not won a single match since this stream has started. Or I think I won the last one. But
Oh, I didn't mean to teabag you, I'm sorry.
But for me as an established Undertaker fan, I get the storytelling, and it's excellent storytelling. It's just...
It's brilliant.
It's just, I know my mom will be watching this match. And it will probably make her sad and upset and shit. I had to go through that 2 years ago with losing the streak. And I did an entire video on that. And I still stand by every word of that.
As I get my ass handed to me on a silver fucking plate. Oh, God. I'm sorry, I had a window capture open from what would normally be my alerts on my stream, so there's going to be a black square for the first however long of this video. I apologize.
I mean, whoops.
Shit happens.
Live television, everyone.
Fuck it! We'll do it live!
Fuck it, we'll do it live!
But, Bill O'Reilly in the house. Back when he used to do Inside Edition, but...
And, you know, before it was Pussy Whip.
I
said it.
But for me, bittersweet doesn't even describe the term that I would use for an Undertaker loss, per se.
Even though it is.
Because he didn't go out on his own terms. That's my biggest, hoopla. He went out pretty much on Vince McMahon's terms.
No, on Vince's terms. Vince basically decided for him. And yeah, it kind of bothers me too that he didn't go out on his own terms. But looking back on the career he had, I think they said it best in the commentary in 2K16. The Undertaker has such a resume that he could fill the resumes of 10 superstars with all of his accomplishments.
Right. I mean, and that is absolutely, fact of that.
Here, let me try hosting, see if that helps at all.
Right. But that's not the only thing. Roman Reigns wanted to kick some more Triple H ass and almost did. As Stephanie McMahon was shrieking like an old lady in the back of that black
Roman
van.
Reigns coming up through the fucking garage door. That's creepy.
Hey man, he did what he had to do to get in there.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He beat the fuck out of Triple H before he ran like a bitch.
I mean, does the 2 weeks of Roman Reigns actually looking like a man and growing hair on his balls make you more interested in this match?
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
I mean...
Yes, but considering how people were still booing him,
yeah,
he still has a ways to go.
I mean, the WWE Universe will forever hate this motherfucker. I just think
Oh,
it,
they'll forever hate that, and their hate is their. They'll
eh,
forever hate this man, but but to be honest, he was screwed by booking because I will always remember. We will always remember the outcome of the 2013 Royal Rumble. Remember, this guy was screwed by booking. He didn't screw himself.
Well, he
Everything
probably
that's
screwed
happening
himself
here
that night.
is them trying to force him down. Is them trying to force something that should have happened 3 years ago.
yeah, and could have happened organically for that matter.
Yeah, it could have entirely been organic, and it would have put over the stable that he was with, and that stable might have lasted might have lasted 2 times long as it actually did.
I mean, yeah, we've reiterated that point twice here on the show, but the big thing is Roman Reigns' promo going into Raw when he confronted Stephanie McMahon and said, and I quote, "I am the authority." And yes, those are the actual words he said combined with trying to shush her up. Roman Reigns, you'd be the first man in her life that has ever shushed her since coming out of her mother's womb. So congratulations, Roman, on that accomplishment alone.
Well, aside from the countless superstars that kicked the crap out of her in the early days.
I mean,
you have to remember, she's taken rock bottom, she's taken stunners. That's actually pretty tame compared to what she's actually suffered through. Roman's doing is being nice. If he wanted to, she'd probably get speared.
Through that. But, you know, the WWE's anti-women pain policy.
Of course, anti-men-on-woman violence.
Damn Maria Rice in that elevator. But, you know...
Tuco in the elevator. That's an inside joke, I'm sorry. I shouldn't say that. Now I'll have to tell a story. Should we have a short story time with Dr. Spartan real quick?
No, we can probably save that for the end of the show.
Alright, yeah, we'll do that.
But another thing that come out of Raw is Kevin Owens is virtually screwed. Why do I say that? Because he trapped himself in a 7-man ladder match. Or a 7-man ladder match with Sin Cara, Zack Ryder,
I got an achievement.
Sami Zayn. Yeah, for using Sadira's webs.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn, Sin Cara, Zack Ryder, Stardust, The Miz, and I know I'm forgetting one other.
Select character, right? Or would it?
Yeah.
Okay. I actually did alright with Sadira. I didn't expect that.
Sadira's actually sneaky good. Video games, people. But I know Kevin Owens' chances just dropped from maybe 40% to about 17%. But do you think Kevin Owens has a snowball's chance in hell? retaining his Intercontinental title, David?
I think Sami Zayn is going to walk away with it.
Oh, giving predictions before the prediction. I was just asking, does he have a chance to retain?
As for retaining, I don't think so. The odds are really stacked against him. But maybe.
I mean, 7-man ladder match and 6 people hate you. I think I know where you're gonna go, Tyler, but do you think he has a shot?
Hell no. As much as I want him to, I don't think so.
And of course, we already heard who David thinks he's going to win a week before he's supposed to say it. Predictions are next week. But he did cut one heck of a promo. But the thing about Kevin Owens is he put on a classic tonight with AJ Styles. Literally almost going 45 minutes. If not for my hero and my favorite heel of all heels, Chris Jericho, with his dry, sarcastic AJ Styles. I mean, you could probably turn that AJ Styles into Sombra's Chris Styles, and it would probably sound just as creepy. He interrupted AJ Styles' match and cost AJ Styles the win, but then we had a WrestleMania reset when Jericho took on Fandango.
Accent on the dong.
AJ returned the favor and challenged him.
But it didn't result in a loss for Jericho.
That it did not, but it's going to be AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho number 4. So, do you want to see this match for a 4th time?
Not especially.
That's kind of the question. No stipulations. No stipulations, no nothing. For the 4th time. Because that's what we're getting.
Yeah, with no stipulations, no repercussions, no. I don't especially.
I mean, yes, those two have put on 3 phenomenal one-on-one matches, but I tend to agree slightly. I do like seeing them in the ring, and I do believe this is a Mania-style match, but you were going to have them wrestle 3 times before to get to this point. That's my major problem, is the 3 matches before, the match. I mean, wasn't Fastlane supposed to be the blow-off of this feud?
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Uh-oh.
I mean, of course David said yes, so why do you want to see this match again, David? What keeps you interested?
This match again because these two are amazing performers. Because these two are amazing performers, and I could watch them go all month.
I mean,
AJ Styles, I have to admit, I want to see more of his mic skills, but from what he's got already, I'm interested.
I mean, And then we had the New Day cutting probably one of their funniest promos ever against the League of Nations. Hashtag
It's so true
you,
what they're saying.
hashtag you are trash emoji.
You are trash.
Fuck. Oh, you may. Oh, I thought you were gonna have me there, honestly.
Yeah,
And that it can't be summed up any more like than that.
I mean, New Day was dropping
Are
facts, kids.
trash.
New Day was dropping facts in that promo about each of
It was
those
almost a
four.
shoot, to be honest. It was almost a shoot. It wasn't even you can't to call it a promo was pushing it.
I mean, but the question has to be asked: is the tag team division better if, let's say, League of Nations wins?
If they win,
Yes. Is the tag team division better if the League of Nations pulls off, but I would consider at this point, an upset?
I kind
mean,
of
I
feel
would
like it'll be the same
Yeah.
either way. If you want me to be honest.
Depending on the Usos Dudley matchup, do you think they get winner?
What do you mean? Who do I? What?
Usos and the Dudleys are going to wrestle a tag team match on the same night. Do you think the winner of that match gets dibs to whoever wins the tag titles?
I would think so. Yeah.
David, your thoughts? Is the tag team
Those and the
division
Dudley
better?
boys.
Is the tag team division better if the League of Nations wins?
No, not at all. In fact, it gets worse if they win, because then you have somebody that nobody wants in that position with those titles.
I mean, but
If they
to the
win those
second,
titles, that division instantly becomes
Uh-oh.
irrelevant. That's just
Ouch.
how it is.
Talk about being between a rock
That's
and a
how
hard guy.
irrelevant already those four guys are.
I mean, and of course, the next part of this conversation is on the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. So Big Show wants to repeat, Kane wants to win it. So, simple question, Big Show, Kane, or the Field for the Memorial Battle Royal? Because obviously this is going to be part of that kickoff show, obvious.
The Memorial Battle Royal.
Big Show, Kane, or the Field? Bear David.
I'd say I'd say give it to Kane. Kane winning it, I'll be fine with. As for anyone else, I really don't know who's participating besides the social outcasts and those two.
I mean, that's the biggest problem with hyping up this particular match, is we don't know who's all in it. It's not
But like I
the
said,
Royal
Kane
Rumble.
winning it, I'll be fine with.
I mean, Tyler
Add one more
obviously
notch to his belt.
Big Show, King of the Field.
I, too, will have to say Kane.
Ah.
Oh, lots of love for the Big Red Machine on this show.
Be interesting. Kane gets a big WrestleMania win. His brother or cousin technically retires.
That's why it would be good if he won it, because it would be like a little tribute to his brother.
And
A farewell tribute to his brother, who's leaving. Who, if he loses to Shane, he's leaving WrestleMania for the last time.
I don't think you understand exactly, David. That means he's losing his job if he loses, not just his privilege to fight at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, leaving essentially his job for the last time.
And obviously, earlier in wrestling news, we found out that Sting will have to retire due to the injuries caused by Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins, yeah. From the two power bombs that he suffered during the match, one on the turnbuckle and one on the table.
Of course, night games.
Which essentially gave him a mild form of what Lionel actually has.
Right as I'm finally getting into a combo.
On his spinal cord. So he has to retire.
When you said that,
So
I imagined like Spinal from KI and a cord coming out of him. His spinal cord.
would be a
But as for Sting, he's really he had a good career. He did. No, nobody could say otherwise. He had a good career.
I mean, I tend to agree with that. I mean, it's sad that he doesn't get to wrestle his way into the Hall of Fame, but, you know, wrestling happens.
But
Speaking of
shit
the-
happens.
Mom? We got some fruit punch left? Good. How about that? As I get a drink here. But Dean Ambrose, Brock Lesnar. I mean, every week it just keeps getting better. Although the crowd was showing their immense displeasure at this week's main event for Raw.
I'm gonna need another invite. It wouldn't let me join.
Chanting out loud, "This is boring."
Yup. They were out loud chanting their distaste
To,
for this main event by chanting "This is boring." At first it was "Let's go Ambrose," then it dissolved into "This is boring." And it wasn't directed at Ambrose at all. It was directed at Braun Strowman. That was directed at Braun Strowman. He was getting booed. He was getting chanted, "This is boring." Nobody was
And
And
behind
of
now,
course,
Strowman at all.
Bray Wyatt was still putting on his best performance, shouting
Bray,
from the
Bray
sideline.
Wyatt was doing his thing. He's doing what he
yeah,
does.
and doing it so well by the by, but now Terry Funk is giving Dean Ambrose weapons. So who's next? Next, I would be expecting Tommy Dreamer and Sabu to show up to maybe provide some
Sabu would make more.
thumbtacks.
To be honest, that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. Although Sabu would make more sense than Tommy Dreamer. Sabu is kind of more of a daredevil than Dreamer is. And as for Terry Funk, it's no surprise. Is it really no surprise that this crazy bastard is meeting another crazy bastard?
It will not let me connect, by the way.
Crazy bastard.
Yeah, I noticed. So you can make the room here.
Basically, Lionel, is it really that surprise as that Terry Funk is the next one meeting Ambrose? Crazy bastard meeting crazy bastard.
No, because Terry Funk ain't crazy enough. See, that's Bob.
But he's not Ambrose's level of crazy. Like, he's not psychotic. Ambrose is psychotic. He is a clinical definition of psycho.
Speaking of...
And not even Mick Foley is that crazy, to be honest.
Speaking of Mick, we'll be having him on the Stone Cold podcast in about a week or so.
The Cold Pod Stonecast.
That should be really freaking interesting. But it's not often we mention the other guys on this show. In fact, we won't even mention them by name. But the reason we're mentioning the other guys is because two things happened with the other guys that are of note. Former WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, who had a kick-ass theme song, by the way. Broken Dreams for the win.
By the way, everybody, you probably already know this, but Drew McIntyre is the current champion of TNA.
Fug.
We said not to mention their names, David.
Yeah, it's not TNA, it's TOG, the other guys. Besides, we killed their people anyway. How they're still maintaining a thing is beyond me.
Drew McIntyre, by the way...
Please note, Twitch, we didn't actually
Drew
kill
McIntyre
anybody.
is the current World Heavyweight Champion of TNA.
Yes, and with that, they also lost two of their biggest stars as well. Bobby Roode and Eric Young are now free agents, so obviously the question becomes, WWE a con?
Well,
Possibly.
WWE would be, yeah, there's rumors that they might be calling the both of them, but there's no confirmation. There's no confirmation.
God only knows, they may even go to Lucha Underground.
But Bobby Roode, we can all see them getting because his name, he held because of his namesake and because of who his father is.
Yeah, which is, he is the son of ravishing Rick Rude, WWE Hall of Famer and legend.
And probably the second greatest guy probably the second greatest guy to hold the Intercontinental Championship next to Mr. Perfect, in my opinion.
Speaking of
But,
that,
and speaking of Mr. Perfect,
speaking of that, WWE, you are wasting his son. Understand, if Kurt Hennig was alive, he'd be kicking your ass.
if Kurt Hennig was alive, Vince would be getting an ass beating backstage. If that's Kurt Hennig
He'd
would
be
walk into
getting
that
ripped.
building and he would beat Vince McMahon down, literally. Speaking of which, I think it's the anniversary of his death today.
Which, oh, if it is, ain't that poignant that we bring that up.
What the
On
fuck
the
did I
X,
just do?
Yeah, but
ye-
it's still sad when you know the details of his death.
let's see. On the NXT side of things, we've got a takeover to look forward to in about a week too, and the main event there will be Samoa Joe versus Finn Balor for the NXT Championship of the World.
And it will also feature the debut match of a very special man who has wrestled all around the world.
That would be Shinsuke
Nakamura.
Yes, we talked about him being signed quite a bit ago on this show, but now he is officially coming, as well as we are getting Asuka, aka the serial killer of cute, going up against Bailey, the proprietor of hugs. So that's going to be a fun match.
The master of the hugplex.
Really? Is that literally what they call it?
That's one of the names for it. I didn't make that up. That's literally one of the names for it.
Good Lord.
God.
Is the hugplex.
Why?
WWE dudes, shoot yourself, seriously.
They just call it the belly to Bailey. I don't know what's worse, belly to Bailey or the hugplex.
Both of them are equally as bad. If Twilight was doing a list, they would probably top each other. Probably be a 1 and 1A in terms of the amount of bad here.
Yeah, you know.
I mean, God.
When I saw that name, when I saw that name, I was like, wow, how did they come up with something so stupid? What kind of class do you have to take to come up with something so dumb?
I mean, God, it's so stupid. It is ridiculously dumb. On the Divas Championship...
Jesus, Conrad's shadow! It's like a fucking tornado.
Because that's exactly what it is, actually.
Oh, fair enough.
That counterbreaker. And by the way, by the time we do this next week, it will be one day out until Season 3 of KI. Which you will be seeing that plenty here. Programming note.
Well, that was a great missed hit, Tyler. Gee, you should really give yourself a round of applause.
So this is the time in the show that we have, I guess you could say, closing arguments, but for the sake of it, we're going to do a story time with Dr. Spartan. Now, you mentioned something earlier.
Oh, wait, I'm trying to remember. What was it? Oh, Tuco in the elevator. Okay, so my best friend's girlfriend. All three of us are in a drum corps together, and so we stay at her apartment overnight during, during that. And, so she has one of those couches where the middle thing, like, folds downwards, and it's like a little table and a couple of cup holders, right? Well, we had it down because we were miserable because field of view had folded. I'll just leave it at that. I won't elaborate anymore, but so we were just eating, so we had that open, and there was a little gap in the back of it that the cat could fit into. The cat's name is Tuco, by the way. That's why it's Tuco in the elevator. And he like went down, and like the way that he went down into the crack was all at once, so it looked like he took an elevator downwards, and John pointed it out. I was my alter ego, Dr. Sartaj, at the time. Take that as you will. But, John points it out and says, hey, look, Tuco just went down, it's like he went down an elevator. And so, we just always referred to it as the elevator, and then after that, he was like walking on the top of the couch, and I said, I'm sorry, Tuco, but the elevator's out of order. And for whatever reason, it was just really fucking funny. So that's that. Oh my god, your mic lagged when the dog barked, and it was one of the most terrifying sounds I've ever heard.
And obviously next week. Wow. Obviously, that is my unhappy dog, lady, barking her head off.
By the way, on a
Obviously,
little side note, it's good for me to see Zack Ryder actually doing something.
yeah, it was nice to see him on TV as part of a side note there. I thoroughly enjoyed that
Yeah.
as well. Obviously, next week is WrestleMania predictions by these two nuts. Of course, I will be doing my own separate predictions video on the YouTube channel by myself. I believe it will be the actual WrestleMania Sunday that I do my predictions, but next week we will go through the entire card with these two, and you will find out their WrestleMania predictions for next week's WrestleMania 32, my second birthday, sponsored by Sneakers. And we are not ourselves when we are hungry, except for Tyler, because that means he's normal. And by normal, take it as you will.
Actually, today I did have a bit of a
It's not
hard
as
time.
normal as Edge is.
At one point today, I did have a hard time making a sexual joke because I was tired.
Like I said, I am
Uh.
convinced that you, Tyler, and Edge are from the same planet. Well, what planet that is, but I want to go there. I
No,
want
you
to
don't.
go there.
It's not that good.
Not that good.
Nope.
Damn it, you got my hopes up.
Why do you think we left? That was actually a good one. Oh, well, I think at this point it'd be a moot point to try and find another fight, because by the time
keep
we
in
get it
mind
working...
that, right, keep in mind that the next time you see this channel streaming on twitch.tv/Code Equestrian, it will be Friday night street fights on Friday, and actually, no, correction, it will be Thursday when we bring back an oldie but a goodie, My Little Pony Monopoly, because it's season 6, bitches.
My Little Polly Monopoly.
So,
By the way, this SmackDown, here comes the pain.
yes, indeed. So My Little Pony Monopoly will have an extra space on the board known as Suplex City. Uh, Pony's getting suplexed. Oh my
You don't need to
god.
reserve any spot for Brock Lesnar. He takes his spot.
Oh my god. Pony's getting suplexed by Brock Lesnar. I just put a horrible thought in my head.
Gave me a horrible image of Twilight getting suplexed.
I got an image of tacos.
An image of tacos. Last week it was cookies. Now it's tacos. What is it going to be
When
next
did I
week?
want cookies last week?
No,
I don't know.
He was making reference to me wanting cookies.
Oh, do you have the
Last time it
Sisters
was
Ahoy,
cookies.
my
Now
friend?
it's tacos. What's next week?
Next week would obviously be Sneakers Wars. Hey-o! But
But what if I don't want a
Because
Snickers?
WrestleMania.
What if I want an enchilada next week?
By the way, am I the only one that finds it strange that the most popular pay-per-view of all time is being sponsored by a candy bar?
No.
not the
You are the only
first
one.
time. It was sponsored by M&M's one year, and I believe Sneakers has sponsored it before.
Sponsored by
Oh, and you
so-
can't
I
forget
want-
Skittles with JR. Those fruity, delicious ass motherfucking chill 'em out, eat 'em warm, I don't care, delicious fruity Skittles.
Really?
Although
Really,
he was a
JR?
little less profane, but oh my god, can I
What is wrong with you, JR?
I'm going to break the limits and do a second quick story time.
Oh
This
my
is somewhat
lord.
WWE related. Okay, so once I was at a friend's house and like we would all wrestle, like it would either be, like a tag match or we would just kinda wrestle each other and winner fights the next guy. Well, I was sitting a match out because I took a hard landing and affected the bad spot in my back. So I sat a couple matches out and pretended to be JR. And we were doing like a hardcore match, I think it was. And one of them comes over to me. He says, "JR, I'm hurt. What should I do?" And all I could think to say was, I'm just like, I don't know. I love you.
Oh my god.
So it's like, JR, I'm really hurt. What should I do? I don't know.
That's
I
weird
love
even
you.
for you. That's weird even for you. Why would you say that?
I don't know.
Why would you say that?
I don't know, but it kept on. We kept on bringing it up for the rest of the night.
I'm sorry, I love you.
No, it was I don't know. I love you.
Which is even funnier than the first.
Like, it's just like, well, here's some words of encouragement. I guess that was. Also, I got put through a toy box that day.
And obviously, Slash Arbiter will probably be trying to improve his Spyro PB this week over on his channel.
Yep. We won't
Which
rest
is-
until sub 10, which is probably gonna drive me to the edge of a cliff a few times.
Twitch.tv//Avatar.
I
And
don't
if you don't
rest,
know how to
I
spell it,
wait.
I'll feed you
There's
some
a difference.
baby Gerber butts.
I don't rest, ladies and gentlemen. I wait.
Bullshit. You've fallen asleep on the mic a few times.
Yes, that
I
is
haven't.
true.
Yes, you have.
Haven't. I was
That
waiting
is
with my eyes
totally
closed.
true.
I
I
was
was waiting
waiting
with my eyes closed.
That's a new one.
So, until next week when we do this again, probably with a less laggy game. Maybe Halo next time. I am
And yeah,
Nirvana
then we go kick the
Sparkle.
Covenant's ass for America.
I am Nirvana Sparkle. Find peace in your own Nirvana. Make sure to check out Doctor Who on Amazon Prime. that might be a cue for one of my coworkers here to possibly bring an old show back
Maybe.
to our YouTube channel.
And I'm Dragonheart. All right, and fight for America.
I'm Dr.
And have a heart
Spartan,
to think
and always
positively.
wear your assless...
Bye-bye, Fidel.
I'm Dr. Spartan, always wear your assless leather chaps. And with that, I think I should probably remember that I'm streaming this.
Yes. Yes, you are.